Hey everybody, welcome to Cafe Rise. This is Rob, Greg, and Josh Jones, and we're telling you what's happening in the world of Infinity Rising, keeping you guys, our community, and hopefully our new community that you are seeing this for the first time, up to date on what's going on in Infinity Rising and this game that we are building and this community of wonderful people that is joined together around our mission of just entertainment and fun. So, glad you're here. Glad you're watching. This is episode 153. We've got some fun stuff ahead today. I'll just be brief on this part. We're going to give you some game updates, a few little updates there, and then we're going to have David on for a second segment where we talk about the upcoming next tier and what assets are going to be available in that. And that should be opening today if it hasn't already. So fun stuff there. Okay. Rob, what are you drinking?
Well, today I've got a good old Yorkshire tea in my He Who Dares Wins.
My
Only
son.
Fools and Horses cup. This time next year, Rodney. This time
Nice.
next year.
Very nice. Very
For you.
nice. Looks good. Well, cheers. I'm drinking a good old diet Dr. Pepper.
I don't think I've ever seen a white can before.
Not the healthiest, but it's pretty darn tasty. Okay. So, fun stuff. Well, the trailer I saw in the notes, up to 75K views. We did put a little bit of marketing spend on that, but a lot of that is due not to the marketing spend, but you guys helping us kick it off and the viewing timing, that like people are watching it for a long time. So the algorithm is picking up on that and things are working together very well with a little bit of promote to kick it off and get it a lot further. So, I would love to ask you guys, our community, to go and just go back to that video, watch it again, leave a second round of comments. Let's just keep the comments growing on it and tell YouTube basically that, hey, this is still engaged and still, people are coming back for a third and fourth, that kind of thing. So if you guys can do that for us, that would really help. And yeah, well, while we're on it, for anybody here that hasn't discovered us yet, if this is your first time to watch Cafe Rise video, please subscribe, like it, help us get the word out there about this game. And above all, find our Discord community. You can see all the information in the description, but join our Discord community. The community is one of the biggest strengths that we have. Along with the amazing game and amazing team. It's pretty amazing. Rob, what I've been watching week after week after week is new people coming in to our community going, how do I play? What do we do? And our community welcoming them, showing them where to go, getting them game demos on the fly. We have amazing people here that are just excited about what we're doing. And it's created a very fun culture, which is exactly what we wanted to do from the get-go. I mean, we are building a game. It's supposed to be fun. So we want a fun community. We want a fun experience all the way through as much as we can. AAA quality experience all the way around, from coming in the gates to creating your account to joining our Discord community, to participating in our marketplace or sale events, to playing and running around in the game with your friends. Yep. That's what we're going for.
I mean, we're always in Discord, so we see what's going on, and we've actually been discussing maybe having some kind of weekly tour or some kind of a scheduled tour that we can point people to.
Yes, the one thing I don't want to do with that is prevent the on the fly tours.
Yeah.
So as long as if we have a scheduled tour, we're not losing that on the fly tour effect, then I'm more than happy to have something scheduled.
And we've recently put in the quest system that takes people around for that. So you don't need a tour. It's just in case you want to come and meet some of the community and see how they.
It's a great way to get to know people, meet people, and get involved. So I highly recommend it. If you haven't played the game, jump into our Discord, download it, and well, it's gated right now, but the community will show you how to get into the game as well. There's ways, there's hacks So not really hacks, but hey, there's a way to get in. So, um, what else? We've got a lot of community music has been.
Tons, yeah. This last few weeks, I've
People are
listened
having
to
some
so
fun with
many.
Suna. Is it Suna? Something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, yeah. That's a powerful, very powerful program. There's no doubt about it. Very powerful use of AI, and they're making some fun stuff for
I
sure.
mean, that's to be fair, that's how Seven got started with us, because he started making tracks for us,
Hmm.
and then we jumped all over that and asked Seven to come on board, didn't we?
Yeah, yeah. He made some amazing stuff, and a lot of that was the way that he did it. It's a little different though, because he would find tracks that he absolutely loved, and then and he would have his words and his song and his inspiration that he was writing, so he would write it out
Yeah, none of that's
and
AI.
then perform it
Seven,
himself.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Seven's it's
So
all
yeah,
him.
he was actually doing a lot more on his end. Incredibly talented, and you hear some of his songs in the game. So
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah. Um, and we've discussed getting a Spotify channel up with some of the game music at some point. We'll do something like that. But
Yeah,
you
because
guys
I
can
think
always.
the soundtrack to this new trailer is going down really, really well. And we actually heard a different version. Do you remember the other day?
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
like an 80s Miami Vice kind of
yeah,
vibe.
yeah.
I loved it. I loved it. With the
I'm
old
gonna stick with the
saxophone.
original version myself.
I love this
It
new
was
one.
it was fun. It's
We
fun.
might have to play it in a watch party one day.
Um, so game updates. Take us through what you got. Well, there's some fun stuff in the works.
Yeah, I mean we've spoke about this a few times. Let's just get my notes. The the release that's coming up very, very soon. I want to say 30 days.
Thank
Um,
you. 30
is
days.
is is all about the apartments. So the apartment is the biggest feature that's coming in that new release. And so we're testing them at the moment. You can come in and claim the apartments. Everyone will get a free apartment, but also those people that have purchased an apartment, they will be able to have their own larger apartments. So it's all about the apartment and being able to what's the word, furnish them and put your walls up and put your items wherever you want them in there with like the building kits. So that's going well. We've got over 1,000 different pieces that the community can put together, all different items from like stoves, beds, well, anything really you can think about putting in a house. So that's coming. Testing is going very, very well on that. We did some rejiggering of the back end. That's caused like the slight delay of this release coming out, but we're getting through the majority of that. So that's coming. We've also built safe zones. So the safe zones are coming. So the way these work is when you go into an area that is safe, as in you don't want people to kill you, because as soon as you come into the game, the last thing that you want is to somebody to start killing, and your first impression is, you can't go anywhere because you're constantly being shot. So we will have safe zones in Kalido, we'll have safe zones in Solace, and all over the place. And the way they work is, if somebody comes in and shoots you, they'll kind of be like a warning and say, this is not good. And if they continue to do that, and especially if they kill you, they will then have a bounty on their head.
Mm.
And a bounty on somebody's head means you yourself can then go and kill them, and you won't get any consequences because there's a bounty on their head. But also the security bots will be after them, and all kinds of good stuff will try and correct that behavior. And then in a future build, not this current one, but in a future build,
So you covered
those
what's in this current one, and that's being tested now,
yeah,
correct?
so the safe zones are in there, and they're being tested now. Yeah, so that's in this one. Then in the future, we'll take that a little step further. We are at the moment building prisons, so I think they still need to get the painters in and make sure all the locks are secure. But in a future build, we will have prisons. I've seen tons of artwork being pushed every other day. So we're actively working on the layout of the prisons. We already also have, and I think a lot of people will go to prison on purpose, because within that whole prison experience, we have a game that a little mini game that's probably been ready now for about
Absolutely,
3 months.
people will go to prison on purpose.
Yeah,
There's a
you will need
game in
to.
it, but go ahead.
Yeah, you'll need to go to prison on purpose and go and play on that new experience. And
Yeah.
but that's coming in the future. Back to this build, we will have safe zones, so that'll be good. That'll be a good level of testing. The nav meshes are causing a bit of a performance issue because Kalido's massive at the moment. So we're doing a lot of performance testing with those. We currently have a shooting gallery.
Okay, hold on. Before we go on to the shooting gallery, um, the bounties. Now, how complex of a system is that? Do we have any bug concerns, or I know there's always bugs, but like, is it simple enough that it shouldn't cause any sort of major issues with this release?
I think so. Yeah, there's different types of areas as well. There's areas that we allow people to shoot other people, and that's when they will get a bounty on their head. There's areas where we just completely disable weapons altogether. So that's very, very useful. And then there's areas where PvP, player versus player, is allowed. So yeah, we've kind of built a traffic light green, yellow, and red, kind of as the game builders see them in game. But
Hmm.
the players won't see that. You'll just be going into all these invisible areas. But there is a
Yeah, I
little
love
bit of
it.
a
That's
pop-up
one of
that
the
comes up.
elements of gaming that becomes incredibly fun is the unpredictability. So all of a sudden you walk into an unsafe zone.
Yeah. You will get a little bit of a warning at the top. A little text comes down and says, "You are in a safe zone, or you're now
Correct.
leaving a
But
safe
if you
zone."
don't know your way around, you
Yeah,
might just find yourself in an unsafe zone all of a sudden, and
and
that
I've no
makes it.
doubt people will be waiting for you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's good stuff. Okay, cool.
So yeah, so the shooting gallery currently there's a couple of shooting galleries in the global map. And these have actually been enhanced now. So now there's moving targets in there. There's a little bit of a there's a quest giver in the corner, and you can do three different types of games. There's an easy, a hard, and an impossible with a question mark.
Hmm.
So those three, and they're actually, so you've got moving targets, you've got human moving targets, you've got the traditional bullseye targets, you've got some all over the place. So there's a lot of targets in there now, because I think one of the concerns was is it might not be very good for multiplayer if few people are in there, but now it's perfect for multiplayers if you want to do the challenges yourself. And there's doors the windows that keep coming up and down, so you have to go and find a window that's open to get to the target. So I think that'll be fun to play. And the different levels, they actually unlock straight away. Hard mode unlocks at level 25, and then the impossible mode is when you've got your season level up to level 50. So we're experimenting with unlocking the different types of quests and levels. So that'll be fun. That is, as of yesterday, that is now all working quite well. And surprise, surprise, even with the amount of testing that I'm doing, I still can't do the easy level. But it is what it is. I'm sure
Hey,
other people will.
that's all right. That's all right. Um, well, that's a good amount. Did you cover everything? Shooting gallery, deathmatch, delivery game.
Deathmatch.
Um,
Well, I've not spoke about the deathmatch now. So this is a good leak. We've not spoke about this at all in global map.
but that's not for
Um,
this build, right?
yeah,
Deathmatch.
yeah, I think it will be. I think it
It
will be.
really? I thought
Yeah,
we
yeah,
were.
yeah.
Oh,
We're testing it right this moment.
okay.
Yes. So what we have at the moment is people that have gone into global map, they will know global map is when you're in Toledo and you go in the public transport, it flies you over to Solace, like the
Mhm.
center area, and in there you have three metro links. One of them goes to Solace 1, Solace 2, Solace 3. And if you go into the fourth, because it's like a crossroads, the fourth one, you have the lifts, the elevators that take you up to the apartments. Now, behind that medical center, near those apartments, as people might know, there's another way to get to. Instead of going the elevators, you can go through the maintenance tunnels. That's where you shoot all the different ones. And in there is a PvP area that was labeled PvP area. That has now been enhanced. So when you go in there now, you now split into two different teams, a red team and a blue team, and you have 4 minutes of just chaos. You can't leave the arena. There's a scoreboard, and it's just an enclosed PvP game. So we're hoping that that'll be fun. That only took about 6 hours to build that, because we already have built a capture the flag game, but we don't have the artwork for that yet. So that is coming in a future build. But for this build, we've streamlined it and just turned it into a deathmatch. So
yeah, another example of having a foundation where we've got locations, we've got artwork we can use in different areas, and things scale fairly easily at that point, potentially, depending upon what it may be. Or in the case of quests, the main foundational system work is done. It's fairly easy to add on new and different quests. Or in the case of crafting, the main foundational code is there. Now it's just adding another 400 recipes, that sort of thing, which is where we're at. So we're scaling out systems, and then we're putting systems on top of systems. And once again, that creates an exponential value increase for the players, which is great.
The crafting is a good one to pick on, because I think in game at the moment, there's 3 items that you can craft in the current build and in this next build that's coming up, there's over 400 of them. And there's a couple of quests that help you build some of them. But going around and discovering what all those 400 are, because we're not going to tell you. That you just have to get items and just trial and error. And I'm sure people will have a little list somewhere and go reference them.
I just realized I forgot something. I've been challenged by the community.
Ooh, what's that?
To eat a Josh taco on Cafe Rise.
I thought they were made up, but they're real.
Do what?
I thought it was made up, but it's a real.
No. This was a real thing that I did back in college when I was with a buddy of mine in Myrtle Beach on a kind of like a film internship. We were low on funds and scrapping by, and the Josh taco was created. He named it that, but because he kept seeing me go to the microwave to eat this thing up, and he's like, "What are you eating, dude?"
Well, we're a cafe, so we should do that. I'll get Rob's bread and butter pudding, because that's a craft.
Okay, please do.
Item in game, and you can have
a
Josh's tacos.
Deal. Okay, so next week,
or
next Cafe Rise, which might be next week, depending upon where we're at with stuff. Next episode, we need to remember to bring the ingredients for our meal.
We'll show them, we'll take a picture of us eating, because I don't think people like to see people eating.
Right. Well, yeah, we'll figure that out. Agreed. We're not going to sit here and stuff our face. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I believe that completed the game update.
Oh no! Well, we got one more that's on test as well, and that is the delivery game. We've spoke about this. This has been enhanced as well. So this will start in the Burger Barn. There's actually 3 of these. There's one on level 25 and one on level 50. But the idea is that you go to the Burger Barn, and then you have to deliver these food items to these various drop-off points. You follow the marker on screen, but now instead of just getting to this location and stopping, you'll then have a little puzzle on screen, and you'll have to solve these 3 puzzles. They're dead easy. It's just like left, up, down, or something like that. And then when you click them, you'll get an extra 30 seconds, and then you can move on to the next target, and then the next one, and so on and so on. And that'll be fun.
Yeah, that one we've definitely announced the extent, but so that is going into this build now.
It's going in, yes. All we're waiting for at the moment is the actual delivery. At the moment, it's just a box that the player
Mhm.
puts on it automatically goes on the player's back at the moment, because obviously we're just building it, so everything's done in cubes. But David showed us the design of this delivery, the actual delivery thing that's going in game. So it's like
Which looks amazing. I love it.
yeah, it's like a drone with this big box, and that will follow the player. So it's not stuck to the player; it'll just follow them
Mm.
quite close behind. I think the player can get away, and then it'll boomerang itself in. And I think it's going to look amazing. It's going to look great watching people flying around with this thing, following them, and it'll be a great game to play as well. So that's definitely coming
Yeah.
in.
So okay. So we've talked about deathmatch, the deliveries, the new questing, additional questing, shooting gallery,
The apartments.
and then also
So
the apartments is that's still going.
yep.
And then there was something else that you mentioned that's not actually on the list. Um,
I think that's it.
there was one other thing, but I'm blanking. Okay, so a good amount of the prisons, the
Oh, the
prisons,
prisons. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the
So
prisons are in the
that's in,
future. The
yeah.
safe
So
ones are here
but the
now.
bounty system is coming in.
Yes,
So
that's coming
um,
next.
yeah, so that's a good amount of new fun, and that's the little things that we've been able to do in parallel. And we also the 400 additional crafting recipes. So a
Yeah,
lot that's been happening in parallel while we're focusing on the big part of this release, which is the apartments
yeah.
builder
I mean,
and what you can do there.
the team works together, and then every now and again, we might have we're waiting on artwork. What can I do? I can't do nothing till the artwork comes in. I've got 2 days, and it's like, well, if you can build this within 2 days, then let's see if you can do it. If you can't, then it might come in the future, that's what happened with the
Yeah, and
deathmatch.
some are just going to have to come to the terms with the fact that if the debugging doesn't get resolved, it might
Well,
have to get
yeah,
pushed to the following
it'll
build
be in the
because we've
yeah,
got to get these things out.
but
But
it's on the list. We know it's
yeah,
coming.
yeah, exactly. It's fun stuff. So this is how you utilize your team when there's a bottleneck and your tasks or your plate is
And the
empty.
new hot zone's coming as well. The new hot zone game's coming in the
Oh,
next build.
well, there we go.
Yeah, we haven't spoke
That's a
about that.
lot.
That's been
Okay,
announced quite a lot.
QA team better test it good.
They are
I don't want this to. I don't want this build taking 2 months to get out the door
no.
from
I
once we.
mean, for us, it's like, can you build it in 2 days? Yeah, of course I can. And then QA's like, we're working on the apartments. Yeah,
Yeah,
don't worry about it. I'll
yeah.
test it
The amount
myself.
of stuff they have to test with just the apartments is
Yeah. But the
significant.
beauty is the beauty is what we used to do is we used to hold these features back for ages and ages and ages, and get them absolutely perfect before we're releasing them. But then it's kind of like, well, we're not in the alpha version yet, and we've got thousands of community members that are helping us with the testing anyway.
Hmm.
And this is actually a good point. There's over 1,000 items in those apartments, and there just ain't no way that our QA will be able to go and test combining everything together. So this is where we really need the community's help into to put in all, and I'm pretty sure they will build all kinds of. I mean, we look at snoo, so we know that the community are going to go crazy with those apartments, and find some bugs for us. In fact, yes, that's in fact, David has told us, so we'll probably have to get this out up front, is we fully expect there will be bugs with the apartment system. So we will very, very, very likely have to do a reset in the future of that system. So expect that, but that's okay. We've got thousands of items, so don't get too precious with whatever you build. But yeah, we'll have to set those expectations early, because this apartment system is huge. It's taken a long time to put together, and like I said, we could hold out for another 6 months and release it when it's absolutely perfect. We're gonna release it early.
Yeah, agreed. And so the ask there for you guys, the community, is okay. Just know that this is a very complicated new release when it comes, and that we want you to give us feedback and let us iterate. We're basically, this is a huge advantage that we have as a Web3 game that we're building kind of along with you guys, and we need your feedback on how it's working, and then we'll do the hot fixes and get things resolved and work through that together. So it'll be fun. I'm incredibly excited about it. Well, that brings us to the end of the gaming segment, and it's time to bring David up on stage. So, David, welcome to Cafe Rise, episode 153. It's good to have you here, sir. Nice hat.
I'm back. You'll have to excuse
No
my
rush.
voice a little bit because I was sick for a week, so I might sound a little funny, and I might cough a little bit during this. So bear with
You're
me.
excused. Thank you for hanging in there. Yeah, not a fun thing when you're trying to work and be sick. It's
Annoying.
When you're ill, does that affect the drink that you drink?
No, not really. It's still, water bottle here. That's probably the
Not in the
best
Stanley Cup.
thing when you're sick. So I've had a little bit of Theraflu, but I don't know. I'm not a big medicine guy, so
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
David, of the two people that are the worst with beverages on Cafe Rise, it's you,
Yeah, pretty bad.
and I'm going to come in probably second place on
Yeah,
that. And I think both you and I could be cross trained by Scruffy and Rob on drink variety and drink selection. Scruffy is the winner. He's definitely the winner of the most creative drinks on Cafe Rise,
yeah.
but that's a whole other issue. So I want to go ahead and set up the table for what we're going to talk about today, David, and kind of walk you through some of this because it's exciting stuff. We've got the next tier, the operator
Yeah.
version of the next tier of the sale. And so many of you have participated with us, and thank you for your participation with the founders packs. But now we're going into the next phase of this sale. It may have already started. If it has, great. This is going to give you more context to what's going on. If it hasn't, it's coming very soon. But the operator sale is kind of what we're going to talk through here, and I think it's incredibly special. They're not all they're exclusive. They're assets that are not available in the founders tier that you can only get in this tier. So why don't we just go ahead and talk through some of them? Is there one in particular you want to start with? You want to start with the AF
I think
88C?
no, I think I'm gonna do it backwards to where
Okay.
it's maybe a little less exciting up to more exciting. I don't know. I mean, people will find different values in these things, but I'm very excited for the operator bundle because it's like it's very operator. It's very like matchy matchy. It all feels like it. I don't know. I think the community out there is gonna absolutely love this one.
When you
But
say it's very operator, what do you mean?
well, it's if you want to move things around the world, you want to look serious. It's you like that sort of rough and tough aesthetic. If you want to look like maybe you're not Mister Goody Two Shoes, but you're the guy making things happen. You're creating the economy pipelines,
The
moving
unsung
things around.
heroes.
Yeah, that's what the operator is about. So
Okay.
I can share my screen and we can go through these. I got some cool
Beautiful.
images for you. All right, can you see on my screen?
Yeah. Ooh.
Get you guys off of here. So, what do we have here? Some of you guys might recognize the design language a little bit, but and a lot of you guys are probably familiar with the Tiger M9. That is your AR style weapon that we have right now. This is from Born in Lee, and you guys are probably familiar with Born in Lee from the HC7. But this is a compact assault rifle. So this is the let me tab over here. This is the Caesar, as I call it. The Caesar 556. Yeah, comparable to the Tiger M9, more compact though. You're gonna have a higher fire rate with the 556 cartridge there, but a little bit less accuracy. So it's got some balance to it. And hey, this color's in one of the mop suit colors. That sort of dark tealish sort of color. So
I love the branding for this weapon and the style. It's pretty sweet. What?
Yeah, I
Yeah, it
like the way
does.
you the way you can tinker with the settings on these weapons and make some more accurate than others, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because that's totally what those settings do. That was a British take on what switches do on the side of weapons.
So, on the audio for this weapon, did you use any of the real weapons that we shot? Any of those?
Yeah,
recordings?
all of them. Yeah, all of them use those. So
So for anybody that's not aware, Jeff and I, one of the co-founders, went and shot about 50 different guns at a friend's ranch. They weren't our guns. They all brought them. We shot them, recorded them so that we could use unique audio for our weapons, which is really, really cool. But that's not all that happened. We had to take those recordings, then get them to David, and then David has to do some processing and some work with them to make them more game ready. So it's a combination of completely custom recording with some of your modifications. Would that be pretty accurate?
Yeah, no, there's definitely some layering that has to go on in those. So sometimes we'll double up weapons or mix kind of the sounds of a few together.
Mhm.
We want to, I look at, you have certain games, like I was playing like Gray Zone Warfare, and they're a little bit more, I would say, realistic with their weapon sounds, but then a lot of players complain that they don't sound punchy or exciting enough. And so it's a little bit of a mix of realistic and giving it that extra sort of action movie punch, to make it a little bit more exciting.
Will this be
Did you use any of the bolt action weapons, the audio?
We haven't crossed those yet. I don't know. There was you guys recorded.
Those were my favorite to shoot.
Yeah, you guys recorded a lot of sounds, so it's all kind of like swirling in my head. So
yeah, it was quite a bit. Okay, go ahead.
You want to move on?
I was going to say, is this going to be in the next build?
This one specifically in the release coming up. No, I don't think any of these that we're showing is going to be in the release right up, but the one afterwards. So some of them, you'll see them trickle in over time. We'll communicate with you guys what's coming up next. So,
alrighty,
let's move on to the Thrust Commander for people who take thrusting seriously. So, sorry, I couldn't. I don't know why. I just couldn't resist saying that. So,
okay.
As you can see, you've got a rather large thruster, a single thruster on this one, and this is sort of has a hard shell base. I think we're already familiar with randos and the popular jetpack that has the twin engines on it. But this is for somebody that wants to get off the ground relatively quickly. Maybe go to the moon. Well, maybe not quite. But yeah, I mean, it kind of is what it is. I really like the reinforced steel on the repurposed gas cans that are holding a much more dangerous fuel of like liquid oxygen that's quantum compressed.
Has it got a lot of fuel, this one then?
The thing is, if you look at the size of this thruster, typically you're going to have large fuel tanks if you're putting out like a lot of fuel. So I think this is more of a blast off pretty quick, runs out a little bit quicker, but you get where you need to go. I think these will definitely be pretty useful in just say like combat situations that are coming up, just getting up and out of the way quickly. So
it's a PvP game. I'll be interested to try this out in the Aero Trails game, because that often needs a good bit of speed.
Blast you right through those rings.
Yeah.
So,
which reminds me, we have a new Aero Trails in the Pavilion level. That's coming in the next build.
Yes. We didn't cover that. Wow, there's a lot coming in this build.
Forget what we're putting in.
Yeah, you shorted your own list by about 3. Yeah, so okay, good stuff.
On to the Load Runner for people who take loads seriously.
First time I've seen this.
Dude,
it
is Load Runner.
Like, yeah,
that's the name of a game.
I think
you know that
from
long ago on Commodore 64. Load Runner.
I did not play it. Did you run loads in that game? I assume.
It's the little button on the top. When you press it, does it go meep meep?
So I mean, this to me is like
long ago.
If you crossed a sharp shopping cart, one of those things you see at Home Depot to haul around wood, and maybe a hovering vehicle. So this is a mount, actually, guys. It doesn't look like a motorcycle. It doesn't look like a hoverboard, but it gets the job done. So you get on the back there, you grab onto those joysticks, you lift off. You can go into the, go up to the mines, or you can go woodworking, or anything that you need to do. You can pile up your stuff. This thing's going to hold a lot of cargo, and there you are, Home Depot cruising.
So does it have like an
across
interact
Solus.
button or something? Is that how you get it going?
Yeah. This is mount. So players haven't seen mounts yet. Those are coming in the summer period. Is what we're going to work on when we get back to vehicles and hangars. These use a similar hover system to the vehicles, but a lot of the variables are changed. But these are for use in the hub city, for use in zones like Solus, Esperanza, Fortune. A good way of getting your stuff around. So I can talk about mounts a little bit, but that's the goal behind mounts. You'll be able to get those at a Nexus Go station. And the whole reason for a mount is maybe getting you around the world a little bit faster than walking, and having extra space for cargo. And this is the H2 Load Runner, and this is Randos. Will certainly get the job done. It's not sexy. I'll admit that, but it gets the job done.
I love it.
I mean, if you're going to be
looks ready for work
from the mines, you don't want it to look pristine.
I like that it looks ready for work, and I get the operator sentiment you're talking like we're ready to do some work, participate in the economy of this game, this world.
You just see somebody just like riding down a mountainside in one of these, just big old load on there.
Yeah. When do we get an RPG? Because I'll be shooting them.
Can it fit two?
That was the next thought. Yeah, you're doing this, and somebody just plinks you out.
Can I give somebody a lift with this?
Sits there for 5 minutes.
That could be an option. Standing on the front, it's probably going to be very fast going along. But yeah, sure. I guess you could give somebody a lift. Start your own taxi service, picking up people in your little cart here.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Ooh.
On to the Rugged M, probably one of the cooler looking backpacks. About a medium-sized backpack that we have here. This is one of the rarities. You'll see multiple different colors of these specifically. It's hard shell, which has a nice look. So those folks over there at Randos are doing a nice job of grabbing up scrap, repainting it, and redoing it to create something fresh here. So
who did this backpack?
That was me.
You okay?
Yeah. So I want you to like this one.
I love it. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, the Randos logo is like it's almost like an old school, like a royal stamp kind of thing.
It's like injection molded. It's kind of that look onto that plate.
And they send letters and they put like some ink around it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool aesthetic. I know there's probably a lot of people that wonder too, like, why would I have one of these when I could just wear a jetpack? There's going to be a lot more consequences for things in the future when it comes to gear. You're going to have to bring the right thing per the right situation. So sometimes maybe it's not the best idea to always take a jetpack to get somewhere. Sometimes it's better just to foot it. But there's going to be all these balancers with, especially weight of these different items that'll come out in the future that affect how fast you move, how fast you aim. If you got a big old jetpack that boosts you, up and over a cliff, it's probably going to be a little heavy in a normal combat situation just to run around on the ground. So, and they don't hold as much cargo either. So,
and how do these attach to the players? Because that looks quite heavy. They're like magnetized.
We always do it as the magnetized thing because, as I've said before, we've covered this a few times. Like other games, we're definitely not dealing with the extra technical art load it would require to create straps going around every single unique outfit combination that a player could absolutely wear. Maybe we'll do something like that in the future, but I think it's perfectly fine. Like the game has to game sometimes.
Magnets makes sense.
Yeah. I don't think anybody has to worry about it.
In contact with the world floating.
All right, on to the Cloud Barge. So, I think I brought a couple of these to actually show, but to show the side view here of the Cloud Barge, also from Randos. Some people are probably going to say, well, how big is it? How much does it hold? I would say this one is very similar in what it can hold to the new Bubble Jet Stratolifter. It is a bigger vehicle than the Stratolifter by a little bit, but that's because it's generally bulkier. What I really like about it, though, is because sometimes you might have surface threats when you're flying around cargo and things in the future. You got this nice repurposed ship hull from the Atlantic here with these armor plates on it. So somebody wants to target with a missile. You got some of those Terrans that want to blast you. This one might fare a little bit better than the Stratolifter. So now, of course, it's probably a little bit slower as well, but it gets the job done. So that
Dude,
the cloud,
I like
the
it.
cloud barge. So
yeah,
who?
I'll be taking out the satellites first.
You're moving a lot. You're moving a lot of goods around with this ship.
yeah. This is somebody that's definitely doing economical stuff. So you're not just somebody buying and selling between players at a town level or something like that. The economy expands up from this micro to macro thing. So you're kind of somebody going around at the hub city level. You don't mind taking the extra taxes and fees because you're buying things in bulk to move from zone to zone. That's what I would say. These are more for.
I think that the idea of jobs is something we've touched on, but we've not really talked about much. But yeah, this could be a job moving things.
Yeah, I mean, there will be delivery missions for cargo that take you across zones as well, besides your own trading. I mean, you could decide to buy a whole bunch of corn, right? Because corn's really needed in Esperanza, and you could buy it in Solus. It's 10% markup in Esperanza, maybe lower taxes somewhere, and then you make a profit. Or you'll have certain delivery missions that might have you hauling like rare cargo or specific things for clients. But yeah, there's the cloud barge. I will say this is the mythic one, which is a very piratey red and black. So if anybody likes to imagine themselves as a pirate on the Atlantic, but with no water flying through the air, then that's maybe the color.
And who is the manufacturer of this? Oh, Randos, yeah.
There's a lot of shipwrecks on the surface, a lot of scrap metal, and even whole pipelines coming from even the East Coast and parts of Europe. So, it's an incredible construction. You can see little parts that came off of actual ships on there. I'm sure other people can point those out, but big old engines, pretty cool machine.
This just in, folks. I've been doing a little. I got to keep my tabs on things happening in the realm of Infinity Rising. The tier 2 operator sale will be launching after this Cafe Rise is published on
nice
Friday. So coming soon.
They get a chance to get the goods.
Yeah. 20 minutes from now.
Yep.
All right. And of course, this one, all of the bundles come with a version of the mop suit. You get the legendary with this one. And I think the olive green color is fantastically matchy with everything else that comes in here. It makes you look a little bit more serious. I also like it with the orange accents that you have. That's the male and the female. So for those of you that don't totally know, you're getting a male and female. You're getting 2 outfits with each bundle.
Does that MOP, M-O-P-P, does that stand for anything, or is that just a name?
Mobile, hold on, let me remember. There is a reason for this. It is Mobile Operations Protection Platform by Core Dynamics. So nice. That's what it stands for. But, just calling it the MOP is great. So it's my MOP suit. Definitely sort of a trooper.
You put it on to go and clean up.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to skip over that first one, and we'll come back to it. This is the AF-88C Drongo, and this is actually vintage. It's over 50 years old. So in the actual lore, these are some of the fighter jets that were originally commissioned and designed to defend the domes during the ascension process. So 1965 up to about a decade or a little more afterwards, you had all these domes coming off the surface. It's an actual fighter jet that they were using to defend the domes, because a lot of people had problems with certain people getting chosen to go here in a dome, certain people left on the surface. There was a lot to defend during that time period. So, and you might ask, well, it's a fighter jet. Doesn't look like a fighter jet. Well, fighter jets don't need wings in our world because they have gen cores, they have anti-gravity technology. But I think this is a pretty cool looking machine, and
Oh my God, yes, it is.
there is machine guns on the front, and I know the first thing everybody's thinking right now is like, hey, can I fire those machine guns? Well, those have been disabled by the military before they retired this thing to civilian. Will you be able to use them in the future? Maybe, but
So the fronts with the guns, I was looking at the pointy end as the front, with the pointy ends.
no. Yeah, it kind of, I don't know. It kind of looks to me like a Star Wars Episode 1 starfighter had a baby with a pod racer.
I thought it looked like binoculars at first.
This isn't the answer I was pushing for in our conversation.
On the guns. You don't want them to ever use the guns?
No, I want them to use the guns.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm saying that yes in the future, but not right now. That's what I'm saying, because there's some
30 days
development stuff that's got to go into that. You're also, you might be going 1,000 miles an hour firing guns, so there's a lot of technical and network implications with that, and there's probably some question.
It would be disabled for the racing side of things
for now, of course, unless.
But if that was made into a 2D game to go in the arcades that you could have in your apartment, it could be like a Galaxian.
Yeah, I could see like a little side scroller thing. But
did you guys ever put together models?
I did. I did
F-16s,
F-18,
paint them plastic.
Yeah,
you're using super glue and painting them and all that stuff. I'm seeing this going, wow, merchandising along with the bubble jet. At some point,
you see it in a box with a little Revell label on the side, and it's it's got all the pieces and stuff. Yeah, I did lots of those. Very cool machine. I did a very I wouldn't say probably a little bit of AI slop here, but just to kind of give you an angle, you want the AI to do something cool, and it's like, I'm pretty sure that you just gave us 2 engine fires going on there, but kind of gives you a cool angle of it flying through the air. Very tough machines too. It's an S-class racer, so it's got quite a bit of speed. It's got bigger engines than your average S-class racer, but it's kind of heavy. This thing actually has armor on it and things like that. So that's why, it needs such big engines.
It doesn't want to stop so quick.
Yeah. So there you go.
Down easy.
There is the Drongo.
Wow. The Drongo.
Cool thing. Yep. Here it is in gray too. You'll see a couple different colors. I do think the mythic color is very, very cool. It's almost has that piratey vibe going on again when you guys see that. So
it's amazing.
It's got to be, and what to me, it's one of the coolest. I think it's one of the coolest flying vehicles we've had so far.
88C.
Yeah, it's very sick.
Sweet. That's it. That's really all I had to show. So,
well,
I mean, was that enough?
I mean, that's gorgeous. God, it's so exciting.
Is that the operator tier?
That is the operator tier, and boy, is it! I mean, you really look like you're operating.
So you get all of them in that bundle.
Yeah, and of course, certain ones of those are exclusive, which those will be marked. So,
as in, I think it's awesome. You can't get them individually in the future, but some
right. They're only for that specific tier. When they run out, they're gone. That's for eternity. So,
eternity.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, another way that we get to, because in the future we're going to have to gradually increase the quantity over time as we get a flood of new players in of what is available for sale, right? So these early quantities, total quantities, they're a reward. It's a more rare item for those that are participating with us early.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. In addition to obviously the discount, the bundle discount and things like that, and the discount before we do, whatever's left of this one when it launches to mainstream, we're going to reopen it for sale at a higher price than is being offered currently. So enjoy, everyone. We're launching that after this episode. So hopefully you guys have fun with that and enjoy this weekend, etc. Okay. Rob, I think you had a few questions for us, and that was our leak.
Yeah. Questions
Yeah,
from the
quite a
community questions.
leak, I guess.
That combined with some announcements of new games coming as well, with our new little new fun.
Yep. Episode 153, and I think we've had community questions in every single one of our videos. This one is from Ray Racer. He would like to know, how many people would you want to try the alpha for you to consider this stage a success? Do you have a number in mind? Just the alpha, not the beta or live.
It's a great question. Looking at a AAA launch, you've got to look at a well-funded company launch versus a company like ourselves that's bootstrapping and putting out AAA quality, but not in the same situation. Again, we're always trying to raise our marketing funds to have as best of a launch as possible. But a good launch would be 100 to 500 concurrent players. I mean, that's a CCU. That's a good average result. We're obviously shooting for much better than that. We always want to do as absolute best as we can. It just depends on how much coverage can we get influencer wise, how much marketing budget do we have to make this happen, and how effective and efficient can we be with our marketing as we go. And so I think the most exciting thing about what we have going, and I've even said it in the beginning of the episode, but is that we currently have people coming in from our ad funnels and from finding out from us about us wherever. They're coming into our Discord community from mainstream gaming, and they're joining our community and leaving the games that they were playing before because they see something special and something exciting. And part of that is thanks to you guys, our community, and how you're embracing and welcoming people. So thank you. Props to you guys. Seriously. That is the culture that we wanted to create from the get-go, is a community that is solid, that is friendly, that is, people might think it's lame that we don't have cussing in there. Well, what does that do? That helps us to keep a very positive culture, because things can spin off really quickly. Definitely. When you don't have some guardrails. We have a positive culture that's fun, that makes people feel welcome. And I think that that's been a huge asset for us. So why do I bring that up? In this answer, the reason I bring that up is because I think as we flood in the next 5,000 people that we have that have filled out the early access form, let's say only 1,500 of them, see the email and take action when we invite them into the game. Well, that's another 1,500 people that jump into the game, that can come into our Discord, etc. And they're having this experience that makes them go, I like it here. I want to stay. I want to keep playing. So not only do we have an amazing community, we have a game that's coming into maturity with everything that we talked about that's coming in the next build. So much more for people to get excited about. What an amazing time to get involved. So I think we're going to get some word of mouth traction, even if we have a small launch. The number of mainstream gamers coming in, if we have the game, that the just this experience that's currently that people are having with what we're doing, then it's just gonna grow from there. And so there's also some wisdom to what you brought up earlier, Rob, which is that, hey, we might have to gate it a little bit too. We might have to say, okay, we're just letting this in. We're going to control the growth because we want to be sure that everybody has an incredible experience with the game as well. So,
the number of servers we have will actually, cap the potential of concurrent players.
Potentially, we'll be talking about all of that as we go for sure. But yeah, we have the ability to cap that. Yeah, great question. What else? Did you have anything else for me? I think there's one for David and another one for me, maybe.
Yeah, I can ask David. Let me have a look. So this one is from Hawk, the Mafia. Wants to know, is mining and woodwork coming soon after crafting, or are we a ways out from the grind?
Depends on what you think a ways out is. So there's, we got the apartment release that's coming out. That's a mini birds with one stone situation. We're going to learn a lot from that. There's going to be some bugs. There's going to be some issues. We're going to use the community for a big guinea pig testing on that one, because when you're trying to QA something this big, we don't have a QA team big enough for it. So community is going to be used for it. Then there's heavy focus on Rift and combat right now. So those are two major components. Crafting will be expanded majorly in this release just coming up. And you will be able to go to the mines and go to the logging areas and pick up wood and pick up ore. We at least want to get that economy going. You're not having to go and do the work there. Maybe somebody's there with a sniper and they don't want you they don't want you to pick up the ore. Maybe that's the only struggle, but we're getting the economy going. And as we go into summer, there's a lot about free flight that's happening in summer. So flying from dome to dome, going through cloud gates, hopping in your own vehicle, having fun in the air. You guys have seen a few videos of us flying in the air. The ability to haul deliveries from place to place. Towards the end of this year, as I talked about before, is we continue an economy focus, and that's probably when you'll start to see more of mining and logging being really sorted out to where it feels like a really fun thing to do. You'll also see a lot of other things as well in that time, and then by the time we arrive at the end of this year, you actually have your micro to macro economy going. You have people hauling things around, people making deliveries, people doing combat situations. There's going to be things going on everywhere while everyone's creatively building at the same time. So you'll be doing work on your plots. You'll be building in the apartment, hauling things around, crafting things, combat. I mean, there's so much that's going to happen. This is a major year for things to get put together. Next year is about expansion on a lot of those systems. Custom dome stuff starts to show up, and then you start seeing major polish passes on things as well. And always content expansions. You'll start to see more questing and story. You'll probably start to see the episodes start to flow of you guys progressing the actual story of the game based on your actions. So we're in a very exciting time right now for the game. I'm super excited for everything.
I'm going to sneak in another quick question in from Universalist. He wants to know, to complete that trio, of wood and ores, says fishing sounds like a great addition. Can you share any timeline or development progress?
Not going to share a timeline of fishing. Fishing is that has a technical art load that we can't support at the moment. It's more difficult than mining, more difficult than logging, and in fact, it's a whole game in and of itself. The way we want to do it, the way we have it planned out. So,
I will say that we have a pretty thorough plan that I've put together with Rob and gone back and forth with. I think you might have seen that, but I put together what would be my ideal based upon having a good amount of fishing experience. And so there's that. And I think you reviewed it and said, yeah, that's fine. We just can't get to it for a bit, but we'll have to revisit that. But there's a good amount of planning done on it. I wish I could.
I love fishing personally. I mean,
I wish I could accelerate it.
It's just with all the other major core systems, economy, bigger stuff, fishing's not like a super big priority right now, and we're gonna get to it. Maybe we'll surprise you with it, but it's gonna happen.
Just give me an idea.
One thing that I could say, David, is this: when we can pull, if there's a way to pull off just the super basic, easy plop in a rod and do a fish version, then and that gets people just the beginner version at some point, then great. That if that could come sooner than later, fantastic. But for the full-fledged, what it's gonna be like, that's gonna take a bit. So.
Yeah, of course, like anything else, you're going to get the early, more simple version of it, and then we're going to work on it, iterate it, get feedback, polish it, and then, it becomes a final product.
Yeah. It's going to be fun, though. It's going to be fun. A lot of bodies of water.
There is.
Yeah.
One more question.
And there's not a game in the world where you fly from one place to the next to enter a different body of water
to go fishing. Yeah. There's a lot of things about us where there's no game that's quite like this. So that's our strength. That's for sure.
Yeah. All right, Rob, it sounds like you had one more.
Got one more question. I think we're going to do this one. This is from Dread Epsilon. Will we be able to buy up stores, companies in the game with IGC? Will we be able to stock up stock options in large ones like Bubble Jet? Will we be able to buy and create franchise locations like the Burger Barn?
In-game trading with stocks, yes, that's totally planned. Are you going to be able to buy Bubble Jet? Probably not. So now, could you work in the economy, build up a pipeline with your buddies, mini plots together? You're doing major manufacturing. You're creating the best goods and things like that. Could you be a major player and then sell that off to like another player? Yeah, you probably could. But I'm not going to say it's not possible. It's just, it's major brands and things that are there's also a backbone to the economy as well, is that there's these algorithmic functions where you're not just competing with other players in the economy, you're also competing with Bubble Jet. You're also competing with, even randos. It's, they're all a part of the economy, and they're there for a lore reason, a stabilization reason, and for a little bit of dynamic play, which we'll see in the future. I mean, it could be that, one of Bubble Jet's factories got hit by a Terra missile that got burned down, and now we have a steel problem or a shortage somewhere, and players will have to interact with economy changes. It's not a stale economy that a lot of games do, where it's like, all right, guys, just player to player. This is whatever happens. A lot of manipulation happens, ends up being not fun, super boring. You're part of a dynamic world. There's going to be economical situations that happen that might ruin your business, even that you have to react.
And yeah, you can't own the Burger Barn, but the first job is coming in the next release. You'll be able to work for Burger Barn and go and deliver some burgers. That's our very first job. So that's quite exciting, actually.
Yeah, you could provide the beef to Burger Barn in the future. Even you could do that. Ranching. So there's a lot of options. We're trying to keep things and again, we're not really building a game here. We are building a digital civilization. That's
and I think if you're against Burger Barn, like you don't like the idea of Burger Barn, you could actually disrupt their supply, because as you see players delivering, you could go and shoot them. I mean, you might spend some time in jail.
Go do a protest and interrupt their supply lines and start pushing bean burgers. Yeah.
I mean, I've seen Linda play, and she loves it when she's trying to, dart around here, there, and everywhere, doing quests, and people are shooting her.
There's some ideas and planning around, actually, you could have people protesting in game, because I think we want to talk about this in a future episode, like the idea of politics in towns and having people voting, deciding on taxes. And we were bringing something that seems so horrible to inside of a game and letting players be part of that. But can you imagine actually having elections in a civilization world like we have, and then you actually come across a group of players that are trying to sway your mind with their, actually protesting
and we've talked a decent amount about some of this is having some kind of governance in towns and things of that nature. And I still want to lean on that in the future. We got feedback from the community on the governor idea, which was all very valid, but something in terms of governance with the collective, collaborative growth of a community and direction of what happens with this community. That's exciting to me. I think there's so much that we can do. So I agree with your point. Having something like that where you can sway and be swayed and participate.
I can picture it now, actually, because you often, when you get like these protests, you get the two sides facing each other. So on one side, you'll have all these people protesting the Burger Barn, and then on the other side, you'll have all these people with the answer to that, which is the meat grinder. and we'll see how that turns out.
Wow.
Nicely done. Okay. Well, hey, I think that brings us to a really good conclusion. Thank you all for watching. David, thanks for joining us. And I know that you have been under the weather preparing assets for this and dealing with all sorts of stuff. So thank you for that. We all appreciate you. And a lot of fun stuff coming, everyone. So after this episode, be sure to go check in on our marketplace and see what you can grab there for the operator bundle. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Welcome. You're here early, that's good. Means there's something special about you. We got a whole lot going wrong around here. You better train up. We got terrors knocking on our infrastructure, and some mighty strange occurrences going on. I'm afraid our world is at risk. Without people like you, Cornucopias might fall into darkness. Better get smart, get trained, and be ready. The storm is coming. I can feel it. I'd like to say we've been through worse, but this time I'm not so sure. Good luck out there. You're going to need every bit you can get.
Children of the multiverse, you have crossed the veil through the gate to stand with us in Cornucopias. You have my appreciation. I am but a messenger, a guide sent to show you the path that must be walked. But know this, the rifts are only the beginning. What you have seen is but a shadow of what is yet to come. The path ahead is dark, and the cost will be great. For the dangers you face are not born of this world alone, but from beyond it. Some of you will fight the tide, others will build and restore, some will weave knowledge, while others will sustain through trade and creation. Strength, will, and unity, these are the bonds that will endure when all else is broken. Rise now, stand against the tide, for infinity does not end, it begins. Infinity is rising.